A thread by Carlos Osuita for Adam Krigler. You're exactly right. Asking people anything makes them angry because their anger is righteous, and unless you immediately join in, you're part of the problem. This is from a Tim Pool video. Tim and Adam disagree about how to deal with angry social justice warriors. Here's what my lawyer once said. The hardest thing I had to learn was never to seek rationality where there is none. These people recognize each other. They can see who the outsider is. The fact that we, the sane, simply exist is an affront. I'm going to go straight argumentum ad Hitlerum. When I was young, I studied the Nazis to try to find out how the hell they got so powerful. The most sadistic guards in the extermination camps were women with no criminal background and no known mental illness. This is supposed to teach us that we're all capable of becoming monsters. Bull. I'm not. And I already know that you're not. Tim is not. We would rather die than murder others. Here are the facts. Those who commit sadistic crimes are predisposed to do so. When given the opportunity and they think they'll get away with it, they go for it. Some of us can't even be coerced into doing so. There was a massive ferry accident, September 28, 1994. It took on water and sank, killing 852. A young Estonian woman was told to be knocking, screaming children out of the way to escape. So what, she said, you do it too. Not a chance. If my choice was to kill children and live or stay with the children and die, I die. We've seen this tons of times in emergencies. People helping obese coworkers down the stairs in the World Trade Center. Actor Richard Lawson saved multiple people when their airliner crashed. He tore a woman out of the wreckage as the flames closed in, and she said, "Aren't you in all my children?" "Yes," he said, "and I'm here to save you." She still can't talk about him without crying. Crises show our true characters. When a guy tried to murder my brother and me at our bookstore, I instinctively ran, but then I realized that I couldn't leave my brother behind, so I made the conscious decision to go back and die with him. But the idiot used a gun known as the Jam-O-Matic. It didn't fire. That was 26 years ago. I'm a different person now. Here's my favorite short story. I forgot the title. A businessman is walking to work and a blind panhandler accosts him. "How'd you lose your eyesight?" the businessman asked. "Oh, it was terrible. I worked in a chemical factory and there was a fire in the vault. We had to escape by ladder, and as I was climbing up, one of my coworkers pulled me off so he could get out. I fell back into the poisonous cloud and was blinded." "That's not what happened," said the businessman. "What? You did that to me, Barton. You pulled me off the ladder." "Andrews," gasps the panhandler. "Correct. So, this is how you make your living, eh?" "It's my only choice. I'm blind, wails Barton. "Stop making such a fuss, old boy," says Andrews. "So am I." And then he walks into his office building, tapping his cane in front of him. Rage and hate are addictions, but they also transform a person. They change the chemical structure of the brain. I agree with Tim that the cancel culture must be allowed to play itself out. It can't last after the re-election of Donald Trump. I would never presume to guess what you're thinking, but it's clear that Tim has a hard time writing people off. That makes him a better man than me. I write people off instantly. I never look back. I'm much closer to the end than to the beginning, and time is short. This isn't a sad thing. On the contrary, everything becomes more valuable. You know what makes my day perfect? A pale yellow butterfly. I see one, and I'm good. I have an absurdist sense of humor. That's why I can take today's madness more easily than a lot of people. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany must deal with these utterly incomprehensible entities sitting in front of her, beclowning the American press to a level never before seen. One of the reasons I think it's great is that it's a totally new experience. I'm fascinated by how far it'll go. Today, the Squad announced a new vision based on an LSD trip that Che Guevara may have taken. Defund federal criminal legal system, the police, the DEA, and ICE. Abolish gang databases. Allow illegal immigration. Remove all cops from schools. Give reparations to prostitutes and almost everyone else ever arrested. And defund the Department of Defense. This is wildly entertaining. We've never seen an entire political party give in to complete insanity. And their nominee is senile. Could you ask for a more Dadaist election season? Dadaism is my favorite art movement. This is a Dadaist art object. The Enigma of Isidore Ducasse by Man Ray. Sort of sinister, isn't it? Guess what it is? A sewing machine covered with a cloth and tied down. The Machine Gun in a State of Grace by Hans Belmer. I make Dada art using my flatbed scanner. I don't name these things. Let's look at this Carlos Osuita art. Dada art from his flatbed scanner. Okay. All right, moving on. My favorite Dadaist piano concerto is the pianist coming out using a pitchfork to feed his grand piano a bale of hay. How can you not love it? Now, if this were going to go on forever, I wouldn't be enjoying it. Trump is defeating leftism. That's why they've become Dadaist. They're going to get really crazy, but not armed violence crazy. That won't be allowed. So there's no harm in sitting back and laughing. Trump is making people whole behind the scenes. They'll be fine. Another unexpected development. In a big win for Trump administration relief efforts, it's found that consumer borrowing sank while consumer spending increased. Trust the Trump. I'm sure he loves the Dadaist masterpiece he's created. It's a self-perpetuating masterpiece.